Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of the She.Must.Knit podcast. My name is Erin, and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. How have you guys been? Did you have a good week? I had a really busy week. I'm actually surprised that I got any knitting done. It was the last week of May, and I'm preparing for the Kawartha show next Saturday. I had to keep going on my club shipments and get the last few of those ready, and I had my monthly mystery sock blank club to get out. So I had so much work this week. I did not get everything I wanted to get done. And then yesterday was my mom's birthday, and so we headed over there to celebrate with her. So I am recording a little bit late this week, but that's okay, right? So let's get started. I'm gonna have a quick sip of my beverage. Notice I didn't say tea. Shocker, shocker, what do I have today? I have some iced coffee. It is getting finally hot here, and this is just when it's hot. I enjoy an iced coffee, so that's what we're having today. I think it's like a chocolate coffee. It's really good iced, actually. So what do I have? I have a work in progress that I am so close to finishing. I really tried to finish it for this episode, but it just, unless I stayed up till like 5 in the morning every night, it was not going to happen, and that was not going to happen. So I'm so close to finishing. I know I will finish it next week. It'll be done. I'll be wearing it. I'm really excited to show my progress on that. And then what else do I have? I brought a project out from the vault. So an old unfinished object that's been sitting on my shelf forever. I started this years ago, and now that my current show season is kind of coming to a close, I have another show in August and September, but I've got a little bit of a break before then. I really want to start bringing out some old projects and getting those done. So I have a project from the vault to share with you, and then I have my collection from the fabrics that you chose last week. So let's get started. I'm going to start very first thing with the winner for May. I've mentioned before that I've started doing, if you comment on any of my videos or if you place an order in my shop, you get an entry going towards a monthly draw for a $20 gift card or coupon to my shop. And so I've been keeping track of all the entries for May. There was 94 entries. That is awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And so I did a drawing, and the winner was Teresa S. I'm not going to say your last name, but I know who you are. It was a web purchase that won this month, and so I will be able to contact you directly. So congratulations, Teresa. So just remember, going forward, any comments on anything on any video will go towards the month that comment or purchase is made. And if you make a purchase, you get an entry for each item. So if you order 3 things, you get 3 entries. So let's get started on my knitting. I have made so much progress on my May pullover. Like I said, I thought I was going to finish this. I'm so close. I'm on my last color, and I've done the front, and I'm on the back. All I really have to do is finish the back and then seam things together and do the neckline. I am so close. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to show because it's kind of big. It's an oversized, it's basically an oversized short sleeve pullover. So there's a lot of fabric to this. So just let me get my bearings here with all this stuff. So I'm going to show you the back just because I think it's easier to see the color transitions on the back. I did this as a faded version I pulled out 5 skeins of yarn from my stash. I'm really trying to use stash this year. And they're fingering weight. The pattern is worsted weight, so by holding fingering weight double, you get a worsted weight thickness. So I pulled out 5 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and I kind of faded them all throughout the garment. So I started with this down here. Was my first color, and this was a deep gray with kind of a green cast. And then I transitioned into my second color here, which was still the gray with the green, a little bit of green, and then it brought in purple specks. And then I went to my next color. Right here you can see I was holding this color and this color, and this is more purples. And then we got into this color here, which was even less dark grays, more light grays, and more purples. And then we got up here, so we've got still more light grays, more purples, and then it's getting to be where it's more light grays, and I'm on the final color up here, which is mostly light gray with bits of that bright purple and little bits of the dark purple. And yeah, I have probably a couple more inches to go, and then I can join the fronts. I've got my fronts done, and it's going to be like a V-neck here. So yeah, it's just, you don't really have to do any sleeves, and I actually did a modification for that I'll talk about. So there's my front there with the V-neck, and you're just gonna, I'm gonna end up doing a 3-needle bind off on the shoulders, and then I just have to pick up on the neck. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do that, but I think I am. All the finished projects that I see where they've done the neckline as written in the pattern, I really like how that looks. Originally I was trying to get this done for the end of May, because the Braid and Tinker podcast was having, and it's going to be May Cal, where everybody was making the May. And so I was really trying to get it done for the end of May. But I went to the thread just to double check the dates, and I forgot that she had said that you didn't have to finish in order to participate and to be eligible for any prizes. So as long as I was posting in the thread and posting progress, I was like, that was fine. So I put a picture of where I was on the last day of the month, and that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna, it's just knitting. I'm not gonna stress myself out about it. But I'm really, really pleased with this so far. I did do a smaller needle than the pattern called for. The pattern called for the body to be done on an 8mm, and I just felt like that fabric was going to be really, really loose. And so I did a 6.5, and I'm pretty happy I did, because you can see it's still pretty loose and airy, but I feel like if I had done it on a 6, or sorry, on an 8mm, it would have just really, like, I already feel like it has the potential to stretch out as you wear it, and I feel like on an 8mm, it would have done that even more. So I did, because I did a smaller needle, I did end up doing the largest size instead of the second largest size. So I did the fading, which was one change to the pattern, and then I also changed the sleeve finishing. So in the pattern, you were just supposed to knit as is, and then afterwards you'd be picking up some stitches along the sleeve opening. So you'd be picking up stitches right around here and then knitting a little cuff out. And I decided to try something different. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever done this, but have you ever worked on a project and there's an element or a technique in that project that you just really, really like, and then down the road you end up doing another project where you take that element or technique and plunk it in because it was just so cool? So I've decided to do that with my May sweater. Last summer I cast on the Zinone by Andy Satterland, and there was just a really cool edging that she used. I have it right here. I need to get back to this. You know, it's summer, it's warm, it's a linen tee. I really need to get back to this, but we can talk about that another time. So yeah, she did this edging in the pattern where as you go, you knit the sides of the arms here, and so when you're done, it's just, it's ready to go, right? You don't have to pick up and do any stitches or knit anything. And so, yeah, it just, I need to get back to this. The pattern is really, really pretty. I'll put in a picture. If you want to see a beautiful finished version of that top, I've been watching the Ranney Knits podcast with Justine, and if you go to episode 14 of hers, she is wearing her finished Zinone tee, and she did a striped version, and it is gorgeous. That's kind of what made me want to bring this out and get back to it. Hopefully I will. Like I said, now that once the Kawartha show is done and I have a bit of a break before my next batch of show prep, I'm hoping to get to a lot of those older projects that I've put aside and bring those back out. So I really want to get to that tee. But back to the edging. So I really, really enjoyed doing the edging on that tee. And so when I was working on my May top, I thought it would be the perfect application for it, because the May doesn't really have sleeves. It just kind of falls off your shoulder. And I thought if I could just knit the edging as I went, then I wouldn't have to worry about going back and picking up stitches, especially since it is a faded version, right? Like, I didn't know how much yarn was I going to have left over after I got the body done, and what if the color, you know, where the sleeves were didn't go with the fading that was happening in that area, right? So I thought if I could do the sleeves as I went, or the edging as I went, that would be perfect. So that's what I did. I totally took that technique that Andy had in her pattern and I applied it to this one. So there you can see right there, that is my sleeve edging. And it's working out that it's mostly in this lighter purple area. And I really like how it looks. Now I did have to kind of work with it a little bit, because when I did the two front sides, so these are the fronts, they are done. So as I was working on the two fronts and doing the edging along with it, I found that the, I guess the row gauge of this stitch pattern and the row gauge of this was different. So I felt as I was getting up to where the sides would end, like on your shoulders, that this was pulling in, like it was tighter than the gauge for this pattern. So I ended up on the fronts just kind of playing around. I finished all the knitting that I had to do for the front. And then what I did is I just did a little bit of short row shaping. You can kind of see that triangle there. I did a little bit of short row shaping up here just to bring this edging up a little higher than it would have been otherwise. So on the back, I decided to try something a little different. So on the back, what I'm doing as I'm going up, so you can see I have my sleeve edging going here. This is the back. The back, as I'm going up, every 5 or 6 rows, so I'll do like 5 or 6 rows straight across following the pattern. And then every 5 or 6 rows, I'm doing a little short row where I basically just do the sleeve edging, wrap and turn, go back, do the sleeve edging, and then do the full row. So it's adding 2 rows of the sleeve edging when I'm just doing 1 row of the body. And so we'll just see as I get to the top. A lot of my knitting, I just figure things out, and I just see what happens. So when I get up to the top where I would be close to the same length as the front pieces, I will see if it's equaling out, and if I need to do you know, some more short shaping at the top. Now the other change that I'm doing too, and a lot of people mention this in the thread for the cowl, the original pattern is written to have a V neck on both the front and the back. So there's a V on the front and the back. And a lot of people were saying that because it is an oversized sweater, this was causing the neckline to kind of fall off their shoulders, because there was really no stability to the neckline. Like, you had these 2 giant V's, and so the shoulders were just falling off. So what a lot of people were doing is, instead of doing the V on the back, they were just knitting straight up and then just having a full back and then just the V at the front. And I've decided to do that as well. So that's why my back is taking all this extra yarn, which is fine, because I think I'm going to enjoy it more. I am so excited to finish this. I've tried it on as best as I can with it being in the state that it is, and the length is good, and I think the fit is good. I just feel like this is going to be a really, really comfy, cozy wear. Probably too hot for the weather right now, but I feel like when it is the right weather for it, I will wear this a lot with my leggings. Like, I think it's going to be just really comfy. It already has me thinking of pulling out yarn for another one. The pattern itself has been really enjoyable, and doing the fading has just been so much fun and such a good use of stash. Like, just 5 single fingering weight skeins that were just sitting in there, and now they're all in a garment, and I've basically used every little bit of every little color, because I just keep going until that color runs out, and then I will start switching to the new one or fading into the new one. So all I have is my final color. And so yeah, and I find, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of us do this, where if you're just buying random yarn, so like if you're at a show, or if you just see a skein, you're just like, oh, I have to have that. A lot of the times they are similar colors. Like, I think we all kind of have a color comfort zone that we like and that we're attracted to, and that just makes us like, go, ooh, pretty, right? And so I think if you look at your stash, you probably have a lot of skeins that have similar color tones. Like, some might be lighter, some might be darker, some might be brighter, but they all have kind of similar colors. And I bet you if you looked, you would be able to find a set of them that kind of coordinated if you wanted to try doing like a faded garment. And you can take a lot of garments, patterns that are written to be a solid color and fade them out, and then you can use all your stash. Like, it's just, I'm really enjoying this, and I want to do another one. So I think that's all I have to say about that for now. I'm just going to have another little sip. This is really, really tasty. And then I'm going to get on to my next project. So this is the one that I am pulling out of the vault. This is on my bingo card. Actually, the May works for my bingo card too, because I want to finish 2 garments for myself this year. So that works for that, and stash, because I want to use old stash. But another project on my bingo card for this year is to finish my Owl Obsession blanket. I started this blanket back in 2015, so my intention was to make it for Avery. I wanted to make her a hand-spun, hand-knit, like, special blanket from her mummy, and I started this back in 2015, and it has been such a slow process, partly because it is hand-spun, and it is a pieced blanket. So I have to spin. I've been spinning the yarn in kind of bits, and I do actually have quite a bit of it done. I brought the pieces to show, and then I think what I'm going to do is, after I'm done recording this, I'm going to try to lay it out in where all the pieces would go and take a picture, so that we can both, because I have no idea how close I am either, we can get a sense of how much more I have to do to finish this. I have a feeling I'm pretty close, but maybe it's going to be another 3 years. I don't know. I really want to finish it this year, though. So this is the Owl Obsession blanket. And I've been making this with mostly Fat Cat Knits fiber. So that part is all done. And what you do is, a lot of the pieces, you have all these little owl pieces. So the ones with the little ears are little owl pieces. So there's a whole bunch of little owl pieces. And then there's a bunch of just round pieces. And then there's like little round pieces that you edge off. So these are all done. So I have all my little round pieces with edgings are done. Okay. All my big pieces like this are done. All my owls and all my circles, those are all done. And then I have a bunch, I know I have a bunch of these little like filler guys to do. And then I also have to edge, so you see how the little circles are edged with this speckle? I have to edge all of these guys with the speckle. And I have edged some, so this is like a finished owl that has been edged in the speckle. And I have 3 of these done, so I have 3 owls that are done and edged with the speckle. And then I still have to do, I have to edge all these guys. So I know what is keeping me back from finishing this sooner than later is that the edging that I'm doing on them is bare fiber. So I'm just taking undyed fiber, I'm spinning that, and then once it's spun and set, I dye it with the speckle. So this is a skein, for example. So this is one that I have ready to go to do more edging. So it's just a bare yarn that I then speckle. Spinning the bare yarn is so freaking boring that once I have, like, I know once I get this edged on, if I need any more, if I still need more yarn, I feel like it's going to take me another 3 months to make it, because there's other things I want to spin, and there's just other things I want to knit that are just more interesting than spinning plain white fiber. But I really, really want to get this sweater done, I really want to get this blanket done this year. Like, it's just time. It was 3 years ago that I started. I think it's going to be really cute. It just needs to get done. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to lay everything out and just see how close I am. But once the Kawartha show is done, I feel like I need to finish my current spinning project. I need to work this one in so that I know what I need to have left, and then if I need to spin more, I just need to get it done. Because yeah, I think it's going to be really cute, and I just want this out of the UFO pile, right? Right. So that is that progress, and then the only thing I have left before we get to the collection is I wanted to do a recap. So I had mentioned before that every month I like to do a goals for the next month and then projects for the previous month. So I thought I would go over that and just share what I finished. So what did I get finished in May? I'm going to pop a picture in of the items I finished, and I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but it's been a really busy couple months with both show prep and with my site and stuff, so that's okay. I'm still happy with what I got done. So I wanted to finish the sock arm sweater for my friend's little girl, and I did that. I wanted to finish the gradient spin with the beads and then also film the video on how I do the chain ply beading. That is so close to being done. I'm going to bump that to June. It's so close. That's going to get done this month. I wanted to finish the passerine hat. I did that. Cast on the Lisa Ross Impossibly Possible socks. I've done that. They are started. I wanted to start a bulky spin, but that was I was going to start a bulky spin when I finished my gradient spin, and so I haven't done that, but hopefully as soon as that gradient spin is done, I'm going to do a bulky spin. Cast on and finish May. I did cast on the May, and I am so close to finishing it, but unfortunately it did not get done. There's just too much going on. And then finally finish my May DVD socks, and I did that. Those were done. So those were my May projects and my May goals. And then for June, number one, I want to finish the May sweater. That is going to get done. I also want to finish the gradient spinning and the beading video. I want to get that done. You guys have expressed interest in seeing how I do chain ply beading on my hand spun, so I want to get that video done so I can put that up. I do want to do another bulky spin because that is part of my bingo goals, is to have 2 skeins of a thicker weight yarn, and I think that might even complete that goal. If I get that done, and like I said, with the owl blanket, once I know what still needs to be done on it, I might pop in spinning another skein of this, like the bare yarn that I dye for the speckle before I do my next spinning project. And we'll see how June goes, and then I might talk about my next spinning project. So that's going to be a goal. I want to finish the Impossibly Possible socks. I want to get those done this month. And then, I don't know, maybe bring out another project. I have to do my June DVD socks have to get done as well because I'm doing the year-long challenge. But I might just leave it at that, and, you know, Avery's going to be out of school. I do have the show on June 9th, and then Avery's out of school, so I really don't know how June is going to go yet. So I might keep my goals on the shorter end, and then if I overachieve, then awesome, right? So I think we'll leave it at that for June. So that's it for the knitting this week, and all I have left now is the collection, and I love this collection so much. So last week I gave you guys the choice between the pink chippy fabric or the moth fabric, and it was such a close race. Oh my goodness, right to the end I didn't know who it was going to be. I tried holding off on getting the fabric cut and everything because I felt like, you know, the votes were just going to keep going back and forth, but finally I had to just go with who was in the lead at that time because I had to get things started, and it was the chippies who won. I think they only won by like 2 votes though, so what I'm thinking of doing is, because the moth fabric did so well, and I think it was last week when it was sloths versus woodland, sloths only won by like 1 vote too. I think I'm going to put woodland versus moths coming up, so it's like, you know, the 2 second place, very close second place finishers are going to battle it out. But so for this week though, it was the chippies who won, and I really love how this collection came out. So for the bags, I actually did a whole bunch of different bags. The way the fabric, the placement on the fabric, I didn't want to do anything where the chipmunks would get cut off or that you wouldn't see them, because like for me they're kind of like the showpiece of the fabric, right? So I did get one of my deluxe wee sidekick bags out of it so that Chippy could be right there. A lot of them, the chipmunks, were going to end up being like kind of right here, so it would get covered by this. So I only did one of these. And then the accent fabric, you see that? They're little bees. I thought that was really cute. And then the inside, what did I put on the inside? I think it's just some pink, yeah, so pink and yellow there. So this is, I have one of these with the Deluxe City Sidekick with the stitch marker, the clasp. And then I was able to get a whole bunch of just regular wee sidekicks, so not the deluxe with the strip across, but just the regular ones. So you still get the accent fabrics, but they'll all have a chippy right on the front, and I think most, yeah, I think they all have them on the back too. So there'll be 3 of these regular ones, and then I was able to get one regular sidekick, so a nice bigger size. I got one of these, and then I was even able to get just one of my little regular pouches. So these are great for if you knit and you like to throw your knitting into a bigger bag and just like, look how much that scrunches down, because there's no interfacing in these. So I got one of those. So lots of bags with the fabric this week, and then the yarn. Oh, I think these turned out so pretty. So I did 2 skeins of 100 gram sock weight 75/25 superwash wool nylon yarn. I did 2 of these. I did 3 sock sets. So I've got 3 sock sets, and then I did kind of like a coral. There is pink to this. It's like a pinky orange. So I did a pinky orange mini to go with those. So each one, that all have the minis. So 3 sock sets, and then the sock blanks. Oh my god, the sock blanks, you guys. I kind of want to keep one, but I won't. These are the sock blanks this week. So these are so pretty. So I have 2 sock blanks. So that's one. And then here's the other sock blank. So these will all be up in the shop later. And remember, any purchases gets you an entry for the monthly draw. And then we just have the vote for next week. I had a hard time. I had so many options of fabric that I was looking at, and I decided to go with 2 that were going to kind of push me out of my comfort zone. I prefer to, or I don't know if I prefer to, but I am more drawn to dyeing with brighter saturated colors. So I thought I would pick 2 fabrics that would kind of challenge me to work with more muted tones. So the first fabric to vote for are these really, I think this fabric is really cute. So it's like these sweet little clouds, and the clouds are like a very, very pale peachy pink. I don't know if it will come across, but these are a pale peachy pink. And then they're raining little stars, and then these little lightning bolts are metallic. Those little guys are metallic gold. And I actually have some sock weight skeins that have a gold stellina in them, and I thought that would be really, really pretty to go with this. If this one won, I would do like a gold metallic sock yarn. So this is your first choice. And then your second choice, this just makes me giggle. Your second choice are this, I think this fabric is called like cat selfies. So it's all these cats making little faces at the camera. Look at that. But again, it's more muted tones, it's the softer colors. So this is choice number 2. Both of these will kind of challenge me to work with softer colors. So your choices this week are the rain clouds or cat selfies. Okay, so let me know in the comments below what you'd like me to make a collection of for next week. And then yeah, the only other thing I have to say is that because next Saturday is the Kawartha show, if you're going, please come by the Bling Your String booth and say hi. I'm not sure when I'm going to record next week. I don't know if I'm going to try and do it earlier or if it might have to wait till after. I'm not sure. There will be an episode for sure. I don't know yet when that will be. So, but until next week, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great upcoming week and get to make all the things you want to make. And I will see you soon. Bye.